The biggest name in all of football, at least for about 2 years, was Johnny Manziel. Known for his exciting personality and great college level play, Manziel turned into arguably one of the biggest busts ever. What caused Manziel to fail, and why? Before we do anything, I just want you guys to understand, I'm sorry, I'm a little congested and everything, so my voice is going to be a little off, and everything I say is going to be a little off, so yeah, sorry about that, guys, but thank you guys. Before we talk about why Manziel never really panned out, let's just talk about his early life firstly. Johnny was born on December 6, 1992 in the town of Tyler, Texas. In high school, Manziel would primarily play pretty much any sport that the school had offered to him. So, quite literally a broad range of everything. He primarily focused on football and baseball though. According to the internet, Manziel was highly touted in high school football, being compared to Brett Favre, Drew Brees, and Michael Vick. 3 very different QB play styles, might I add. He was also told he had achieved folk hero status in high school. He started his high school career off as a receiver and would start on the varsity team later in his freshman season. In his second season, he would play a mix of everything, including quarterback, recording 1,164 yards passing, 806 rushing yards, and 408 yards receiving, and having a combined 28 touchdowns across all of them. In his junior season, he would achieve video game-like numbers, recording 2,900 pass yards, 1,500 rush yards, 150 receiving yards, with 55 touchdowns combined. Those are video game numbers. Brace yourself for the next stat line. In his senior year, he would record 3,609 yards passing, with 45 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions. That's not all. He would also be an incredibly lethal rusher. In 170 rush attempts, he would have nearly 1,700 yards and 30 touchdowns. He also had a kick return touchdown and a receiving touchdown, compiling a whopping 77 touchdowns in one season. I'm starting to see why he was so highly touted. Because of this amazing high school career, Manziel would receive offers from Texas A&M, Baylor, Colorado State, Iowa State, Louisiana Tech, Oregon, Rice, Stanford, Tulsa, and Wyoming. Oof. Funnily enough, he was only a 3-star recruit. Manziel would go to Texas A&M to attend college. Manziel wouldn't actually be the starter right off rip, and it would take him at least 1 year to get it. Being redshirted as a freshman, he would essentially have another year of eligibility because he never actually played a game. Now, to be fair, he was backing up who would soon be NFL quarterback Ryan Tannehill, so, I guess that kind of makes sense. After Tannehill left in 2011 for the NFL, there was some uncertainty for Texas as who could be the quarterback, but Manziel would prove to be the best available for them and would win the starting job. His first ever college start would be against the Florida Gators, and even though Texas was unsure of if he could be good or not, all doubt was shut down as soon as it was brought up. Manziel would break Archie Manning's record for total offense recorded in one game, recording 557 yards of total offense. That record stood for about 2 weeks before Manziel would break it again. Recording 576 total yards of offense, he became the first SEC player ever to have 2 games of 500 plus yards in a season. Hey you, yeah you, are you liking my content so far? If so, you should like this video and subscribe to me because it's all entirely free and it takes about 3 seconds to do. Also, be prepared for more exciting and even banger content here in the future, and if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, you'll be notified of all of my future videos upcoming. And yeah, comment down below what video you guys want to see next. Enjoy the rest of the video, guys. Despite this, it would take a while before he would earn national spotlight. This came when Texas A&M would beat number 1 ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Manziel would wind up finishing his freshman season with 3,700 passing yards and 26 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, but once again, that wasn't all, rushing for another 1,400 yards and 21 touchdowns. Manziel would break records this season, most notably the single season total yards mark. He would win SEC Freshman of the Year, the Davey O'Brien Award, and the Heisman, being the first ever freshman to win either one of those awards. Going into his sophomore season, because of his play, Texas A&M would be ranked 6th in the coaches poll. Once again this year, he would have a record game against Alabama, throwing for a school record 464 yards in the game, with his primary receiver being none other than Mike Evans. Manziel would finish his sophomore and final season of college with 4,114 passing yards and 37 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. To go along with that, he would have 750 rushing yards and another 9 touchdowns. He would finish 5th in Heisman voting and never win a college championship. Despite his crazy success from high school to college, Manziel was polarizing to a lot of people, and not a lot of people wanted to take the chance on Manziel and actually draft him. And it was kind of crazy. I'm going to go into it in just a second here, but people were really torn on him. His pre-draft status was up in the air. Many people had him touted as a top 5 pick, but just as many people said he was undraftable. Former NFL head coach Barry Switzer said this about Manziel: "I don't like his antics. I think he's an arrogant little prick. I've said that, I'm not afraid to say it again." Come draft day, he would fall all the way down to number 22, where the Browns would draft him, which, by the way, they traded up for this pick, hoping he could be their starter for many years to come. Boy, were they wrong. Manziel would start his NFL career off with getting fined $12,000 for flipping the middle finger at a Redskins player. The Browns would elect to not have Manziel as a starter, and he wouldn't see any NFL action until November 30th. He would finally get a chance to play in the fourth quarter, and he would go 5 for 8 with 63 yards and would score his first NFL touchdown, that being a 10-yard rushing. He would make his first career start in Week 15 against the Cincinnati Bengals, where he would go 10 of 18 passing for 80 yards and 2 picks. Manziel would get hurt in his second start, only recording 8 pass attempts, and would be shut down for the season. In his second season, Manziel would only play in 9 games, recording 1,700 total yards, 7 touchdowns, and 5 turnovers. Manziel would never play in the NFL again after this. So now the question remains, what went wrong with Manziel? And to be honest, it's kind of a lot to break down, so I'm just going to highlight a few key ones, and by a few, I mean like 6 or 7 things that really went wrong with his career, and it starts all the way back in 2012, his college career, or his college days, I guess. He would get arrested in June of 2012 for disorderly conduct, failure to procure identification, and possession of a fictitious driver's license, which is a fake ID. These charges stemmed from a fight that had happened that night. Apparently, Manziel was friends with someone who decided to throw racial slurs at a man on the street. According to witnesses, Manziel tried to step between the two men, but would start fighting back once he got involved. In 2013, Manziel would have a slew of issues, leaving ceremonies early, tweeting about leaving college, receiving multiple tickets, getting kicked out of parties, and the biggest one of all being selling his autograph for money. In 2015, Manziel would be at a golf tournament and would throw a water bottle at a fan for repeatedly asking for Manziel's autograph. He would also enter a treatment facility for unspecified reasons. The 2015 NFL season, Manziel would be pulled over for fighting with his then-girlfriend, admitting he had alcoholic beverages before driving. He would also get benched later in the season when a video of Manziel surfaced of him at a party where he reportedly lied to the Browns about the party. Manziel later in the season would get a concussion being away from the team, and he would be spotted at a casino and wouldn't show up to the team doctors the next day for the mandatory concussion checkup. The Browns would cut Manziel after this. In 2016, Manziel's marketing agency announced it would no longer work with Manziel, and less than a month later, the Dallas Police Department would reopen their investigation into the domestic violence case against Manziel and Manziel's ex-girlfriend. According to reports, Manziel reportedly pulled his girlfriend by the hair into the car while threatening to kill both her and himself. Drew Rosenhaus would cut all ties with Manziel after, marking the first time in 27 years he would cut a client. On June 24th of 2016, Manziel's father and attorney both outed Manziel for having a drug problem. On the bright side, since this has all happened, Manziel has reportedly gotten clean and been to rehab. Although in his new Netflix documentary, it goes against saying that he hasn't been able to stay clean. I understand that's a lot to hear, but it's just kind of important to know about who his character was. The better question is, if Manziel's personality never existed, do you think he could have ever been good in the NFL? In my opinion, Manziel was bust either way. I do feel bad for him, and I don't wish addiction of drugs or alcohol to anyone. As fast as I feel bad, he wasn't a good person at all. So I'm kind of torn on it. But that's the story of Johnny Football Manziel. How do you guys feel about Manziel? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, and peace for now.